Dear students, in this lecture we will prove some results on Hilbert spaces. I mean in the topic orthonormal sets. Let us prove some results. So, the result which we are going to prove in this result is this. Let EI be an orthonormal set. Let EI be an orthonormal set in Hilbert space H. In Hilbert space H. Then for any vector x in H, then for any vector x in H, we have x minus summation x ei is orthogonal to Ej for every Ej. For every Ej. So we have to prove that x minus this sum is orthogonal to Ej for every Ej. Proof. So let me tell you the important fact in this proof. The whole proof is about defining the sum xei, and just we have to verify this. So how we interpret, how we define this sum, that is going to be important in this proof. Let S be equal to the set of those vectors EI's for which inner product of x and EI is non-zero. By known result, which we have proved in one of the lectures prior to Bessel's inequality, by known result, S is countable. So it is countable means there will be three possibilities. Which are these three possibilities? First possibility is that S is empty. First possibility is that S is empty. Second will be S is finite, and third possibility will be S is countably infinite. So as I mentioned, in this case, in every case, first we have to define what is meaning of this sum. In this case, we define the sum I inner product of x ei and ei as I sum inner product of x ei equals to 0. Why is it 0? Because inner product of S is empty means that inner product of x and ei is 0 for every ei. That's what it means, for every ei. This is justified from the fact, this is justified from the fact that S is empty and so xei is equal to 0 for all ei's. This is justified from this fact. Now, so if we try to calculate inner product of this vector with ej, we will get that x minus inner product of x ei I ej is equal to, this is going to be equal to 0 as per our definition. So x minus 0 ej and this is equal to x ej and that is equal to 0. So that our claim is proved. This holds for every ej. My question is for every ej. My question is, why this is equal to 0? Why is it 0? Because xei is 0 for all ei's as s is empty. Okay. So this proves that x minus this sum is orthogonal to ej for every ej. We are done with first possibility. Now, let us go through the second possibility. So, for second possibility is that S is finite. S is finite. In this case, take S is equal to, it is finite set, so we can take finitely many vectors, say E1, E2, En. Again, we have to define the sum. So we define the sum I, x, ei, as, this is to be interpreted as sum of x ei is equal to I is equal to 1 to n x ei. Because there are finitely many terms, all terms in this summation are going to be 0 except these n terms. That is why we define this as equal to sum of n terms. Since S is only this set, for all other terms this is going to be 0. So their contribution in this sum will be 0 and that's why this sum can be defined as this. Now consider the inner product x minus summation I x ei ej. We have to prove that this inner product evaluates to 0. So this is going to be equal to x minus I is equal to 1 to n x ei inner product of ej. We have to use properties of inner product to simplify this. So this gets simplified to x ej minus summation I is equal to 1 to n x ei ej. Note that we are simply doing the simplification of this. So we are using properties of inner product. So this is going to equal to x inner product of x and ej, that equals to summation I is equal to 1 to n. Again use properties of inner product. I mean this property we can use. Inner product of alpha x and y is equal to alpha times inner product of x and y. This we can use here. And to be precise, I could list the properties which we are using here. These properties are alpha x plus beta y z equals to alpha times inner product of x z plus beta times inner product of y and z. So this property we are exclusively using here. This is equal to xei, this is scalar alpha we can say, or alpha I, inner product of ei and ej, but inner product of ei and ej is 0 if I is not equal to j. So all terms in this sum are going to be 0 except when I is equal to j. So this is going to be equal to inner product of xej minus inner product of xej, ej. The reason is quite simple. Since inner product of ei and ej is equal to 0 if j is not equal to I or I is not equal to j. So this evaluates to inner product of xej minus xej, because this inner product ej and ej is equal to norm of ej square, and that equals to 1 because it comes from the orthonormal set. So it is unit vector. So that is going to be 0. And thus this vector is orthogonal to ej for every ej. So this proves our claim in second possibility. Now, which is the third possibility? The third possibility is that S is countably infinite. Third possibility, S is countably infinite. S is countably infinite. In this case, S can be represented as, take S is equal to countably infinite set can be represented as E1, E2 and En. Sorry, it is going to be infinite set. So E1, E2 in this space we can represent. Define the sum. Define the sum x ei I as summation or the series n is equal to 1 to infinity x en. So we must ensure that this is well defined, and to prove that it is well defined, we have to prove that it is convergent and sum is unaffected. Sum is unaffected on rearrangement. Sum is unaffected on rearrangement. So first, let us prove that this series is convergent. in order that this sum is well defined. So for each positive integer n, for each positive integer n, define for each positive integer n, define Sn is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to n x ei. So we have the sequence Sn. So sequence Sn is sequence of partial sums of the series n is equal to 1 to infinity x en. For m greater than n, consider norm of Sn minus Sn square, and that is going to be less equal to summation I is equal to n plus 1 to m mod x ei square, and that is going to be less equal to norm of x square. So I should write it in this fashion, x ei square, by using Bedel's inequality. So this is by using Bedel's inequality, we can write this. So this is by using Bedel's inequality. Now this fact can be used to prove that Sn is Cauchy sequence in complete metric space H, and hence it is convergent. So it can be proved that using this fact Sn is Cauchy sequence in complete space H. Why is H complete? Because it is Hilbert space, it is complete metric space. So Sn is Cauchy sequence in Hilbert space H, and hence it is convergent, So this proves the first fact, that the series is convergent. It can be proved that its sum is unaffected on rearrangement. If we take some rearrangement of this set S, or this set S, or say sequence E1, E2, then it can be proved that sum is unaffected on rearrangement. So I request you refer to the notes for the detailed proof of the fact that sum is unaffected on rearrangement. It can easily be proved that its sum is unaffected on rearrangement. As far as this lecture is concerned, I am requesting you to refer to the detailed proof for this fact. So refer to the notes for this part. Now, for the time being, consider that it is true. So thus, the sum is well defined because it is convergent and its sum is unaffected on rearrangement. Now consider, hence it is convergent. So the series is convergent. Take small s is equal to, don't get confused with this capital S and small s. This is capital S and this is small s. So take S as limit of Sn which exists finitely, but the series is convergent if and only if its sequence of partial sums is convergent. So I could write it as value of the series xen en. Okay. Now we will finally consider the inner product of x minus summation xei ei ej. So that is going to be equal to, first of all note that this is well defined which we have written. So that is going to be equal to x minus n is equal to 1 to infinity x en ej. So that is going to be equal to xej minus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity xen ej. Simplify this. What is value of series? Value of series is nothing but limit of sum. This I could write as limit of Sn, that is equal to limit n tends to infinity I is equal to 1 to n xei ei, because Sn is defined in this fashion. Okay, so xej minus, and limit can be taken outside because it is continuous. So by noting all these facts which I have explained, this can be written as, let me write some details, limit n tends to infinity I is equal to 1 to n x ei. I missed one step here. I should have written it as en ej. Please take into account this correction here, or if you want I could write it as ej. That is correct. I mean en and inner product of ej. So this is going to be equal to limit n tends to infinity I is equal to n xei ei value of this series and ej. Since inner product is jointly continuous, limit can be taken outside and this gets simplified to, this is equal to inner product of x and ej minus limit n tends to infinity. Inner product is jointly continuous, so limit can be taken outside. So it is equal to I is equal to 1 to n x ei ej, and we are also simplifying this inner product, that you note. These are scalars x ei. So as we have seen before, for the second possibility, this evaluates to 0. Limit n tends to infinity. This all terms in this finite sum will be 0 except when I is equal to 0. So we get x ej, and that after simplification you can find this is nothing but x ej minus x ej, and that is going to be equal to 0. So the reason says that since Eij is equal to 0 if j is not equal to I, and another reason which we have here is this. For this step we have the reason that norm of Ej square equals to inner product of Ej and Ej, and that equals to 1. So this proves that this vector is orthogonal to Ej for every Ej. Thus, in all possible cases, we prove that this vector x minus summation I inner product of x ei is orthogonal to every vector in the orthonormal set, that is Ej. This is what we wish to prove, and we have verified it in all three cases. Thank you.